Hey y'all, how's it going? And welcome to this episode of At the Arcade. As requested by some of y'all, we're doing Fate Grand Order today. Hey, sorry, so the footage that I originally had for this ended up getting corrupted, so I ended up having to go get more, and that took me a little bit longer than I thought, so sorry that this video took so long. I meant to get this out like a month and a half ago, but I'm only just now getting it out, so sorry. So, Fate Grand Order Arcade is one that I feel like most people probably know of, given that there's the mobile version of the game that actually is overseas, whereas the arcade game, from everything I've found, is not. But a lot of people like to compare the two because, obviously, whereas the mobile game is more of like more of a card fighter, the arcade version, honestly, is more or less just a button masher action game. Like, every time I've played it, I always end up button mashing, either to try to spam my attacks off or to try to block, and then you oh, this is going to be terrible. So anyway, FGO Arcade, it is more or less just a upgrade to the mobile game, I like to think, because while there is some differences in the story, like I think the story is a bit further in depth with the mobile one compared to the arcade one, and I think there's like a whole separate thing. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I personally prefer the arcade version. I think it's a lot more fun. I think it's a little bit more enjoyable than just a standard, card game kind of thing. That said, I kind of suck at it because I frequently will end up getting pinned into corners and just completely destroyed, and there's nothing I can do about it because I suck. But one of the main draws, of course, is the gacha, which is just like in the mobile version, is constantly shown off. Like, every time you complete a mission, unless you hit a button that says "Don't show me again," it will give you a pop-up like, "Oh, here's the gacha banners. Do you want to pull one?" But the gacha for this one is a little different. So I did a video before about the Contact Collection arcade game, and I talked about how you have to actually use the cards, put them in the machine, and then it'll read the IC card that you put in, and that'll show like what characters you have and what you can use. FGO Arcade does the same exact thing, but unlike with Contact Collection Arcade, you can't just put in any card and use it. Well, you can, but there's limitations. So with the Contact Collection Arcade game, you can just like buy like a card at like some of the resale shops or whatever. That's actually how I got a couple of mine. Put them in the machine, and then it just, as far as it's concerned, you got it like off of a friend or something, and there's no issue because the only way to level in that game is, grinding missions and stuff. There's not like level up items or everything. Whereas with FGO Arcade, if you were to buy cards from a resale shop and then put them in the machine, it will limit you to only be able to put them up to like their first level cap. You cannot ascend them at all. You cannot level their skills or any of that kind of stuff until after you pull them in the gacha. Which I think, on the one hand, it makes sense because they want you to pull the gacha, but on the other hand, that's really, really annoying because then someone like me, who only has a handful of characters they actually care about, is stuck having to gamble for a lot of them. Fortunately, I've got all the ones that I actually care about now, so I don't really care too much about pulling gacha anymore, and I just, when I get a chance to go play, I just play the game. But the other thing too is that, of course, anybody who's played the mobile game will know the card art will change when you ascend them and whatnot. If you want a physical copy of that card, you have to put in another 100 yen to get that to print. The only card that it will ever actually give you for free is the starter card, Mash, I believe her name is. Those are the only ones that'll actually give to you for free, but any other card, whether it's event drops, gacha pulls, alternate arts from Ascensions and stuff, you have to put in that 100 yen again, and then it'll give it to you. So the price can add up pretty quick depending on how much you want to whale. The overall game is fun. If y'all want me to, I would be happy to maybe try to do like a how-to guide or something. That might be kind of a pain, but if it's something y'all are interested in, I'd be happy to give it a shot. But the other thing too is that I've noticed there's usually some promo stuff going on to where like put X amount in the machine, over the course of like a couple months, and then you can get some like limited merch stuff. So I actually was able to get my hands on a special card box. I also got a special art IC card for the save data, and then I actually also got some card sleeves, which I'll put on screen at some point in editing as long as I remember. But yeah, overall, pretty fun game, pretty easy to figure out, even if you can't necessarily read everything. But of course, if you really want to get into it, you're probably going to end up spending a fair bit of money, because this is probably the most expensive arcade game in Japan. And with that, I will see y'all in the next episode. Later.